Hi guys, welcome back to another video. We have a 2008 Golf, Volkswagen Golf GTI. She's a DSG gearbox. We're getting a kind of a hard shift taking off from first to, actually when it's engaged in first gear, and then when it's going from first to second. Had fall codes, but now after a week or so of driving we don't have fall codes, so I have no fall codes to give you a pointer on. I'm not very familiar with this setup, but what we're doing is we're taking a transmission out, and the actual owner of the vehicle had another transmission which is on the ground. I'm gonna get a look. There's the other transmission, second hand one sitting here. The clutches are in here. I don't know if there's a fault in here. I don't have any special tools for setting up or releasing the clutch. We had an open circuit for some solenoid inside in the mechatronics, but right now I'm doing a whole gearbox change. I don't know whether this is going to work out or not work out, but sure. We're going to try and pull the gearbox out, knob it in. I do know that we're going to have a dual mass flywheel in here that sits up against these splines in the actual bell housing of the gearbox. So I'll pull it out and give you a bit of a walkthrough on the repair process. Okay guys, I've pulled the gearbox out. The other gearbox that I showed you was over there. This is the gearbox that we have in the car. As I said there, I don't know if there's an issue inside it, but we didn't know what way to go, so we're changing gearbox. Oil cooler bolts on here. The oil cooler is actually sitting on top of the other gearbox, but just for me, I unbolted these 3 bolts and I pulled the oil cooler up out of the way. When the oil cooler was up out of the way, I could get into these 2 bolts here. All the bolts on the bottom, down here, dead easy to get at. At the back, nothing very awkward in here. 1 or 2, I suppose, down around here by the bottom of the drive shaft and stuff. I took off the actual gear selector. Again, quite easy. It is this clip, and I was able to get my finger in. Once the cooler was taken off, I was able to get my finger in and just pop off that clip, okay? Again, pretty easy to do. Another clip sat here for the cable that came out, which was again handy enough. Once I pulled off the engine mount, and there's a bracket that sits on top. I just undone the 3 bolts on top, then I undone these 4 bolts here. Engine mounting came out. Again, quite easy. Once I dropped it down, I pulled off a few bits of wire looms and stuff on the front, and once the gearbox went down a little bit, I can get in at the starter bolts quite easy. Once it comes out, there is a bolt sitting inside of the starter. One of the debates that's going on is that it's quite tight with the subframe. And I'm going to tell you straight, when I was taking it out, and in nice conditions here up in the lift and stuff, I've seen people talking about changing these on the floor. The subframe is a little bit in your way. What would I suggest? I don't know, but if I had my time around again and I was tackling this, I may just pull out a couple of bolts out of the subframe. What I don't mind, that I have no problem with doing, is dropping the subframe down a slight little bit, just to hang it out of the way to get a little bit of clearance with this actual engine mounting. Saw on YouTube, another chap had it. Maybe I should have actually shown, but he used the actual jack out of the car and he pushed the engine forward a little bit. It does give you a bit more room to clear this mountain, but it is a little bit tight, dare I say, in there. Now, I don't know. This is a catch-22. I haven't got the fall codes now, as I said, so maybe there isn't a whole lot wrong with this gearbox. And again, as I said, I have the other gearbox sitting on the ground over here. Just purely because I don't feel like taking this thing out twice, I'm going to swap the gearbox. So I'm going to put the one from over here and bring it over here and swap around and put up, because this is plug and play, okay? From the research I've done, there is no coding, or you can do a clutch adaptation, but there's no fancy, I believe, modules inside in this thing that is going to make my life hard. That it's just a swap, basic swap around. And I haven't got the special tools for changing the clutches, which are inside in it, so I'm just going to swap it out. But here's the variable. The variable is this, and this could be the problem. And maybe it might be wise of me to not, but I don't know. Right now I think I'm just going to change the gearbox. Well, we have dual mass flywheel here. Okay. That dual mass flywheel is what I would class bait. But is that what's causing our sharp gear change? I can't say. I don't know. I'd probably make a decision when I have a new dual mass flywheel ordered, which I haven't ordered. Sorry, when I get it or when I receive it, I'll probably make a decision then on whether I'll do it or not. But for now, in my head, I'm thinking just as a format, I have the gearbox there. I was instructed by the owner to get the gearbox, so I might just put the gearbox and the dual mass flywheel in there, but it's not going together without the dual mass flywheel. I suppose maybe I should be, I don't know, conscientious, maybe to try and find out exactly what's wrong with this thing and get this up and in there. But I have no fault codes now. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see which gearbox is going to go in. I'm thinking that it's the new one, but anyway, it's not that hard to take out. Very similar to a normal standard Golf, a little bit bigger, a little bit tighter. Probably if I had it, as I said at the time, I'd drop the subframe down a little bit, just run out the bolts and see where we go from there, okay? But I'll give you tips on going back in again, okay? Talk to you in a second. Okay guys, this is jumping a bit forward. I made an executive decision. What the executive decision was, I didn't know about DSG gearbox, and the dual mass flywheel was quite bad. So what I'm after doing is I put back in the dual mass flywheel and I put back in its own original DSG gearbox. Not knowing what's wrong with the clutch, I didn't take the clutch apart. I'm not familiar with it, and that's what made me kind of avoid it or go away from it. So I put it in. Once I have the original gearbox back in, I'm after filling it with oil, okay? I have another video showing how to fill these things with oil. Now what I'm going to do is run through the clutch readaptation, and according to I'm on VCDS Rosstech is where I'm getting my information out of, right? The first things I have to do when I go into the transmission, which I'm in transmission in this Volkswagen Golf now, I have go into advanced measuring blocks, and I have to get the oil temperature between 30 and 100 degrees to carry on forward with this, okay? So I'm just going to show you where I'm going, and this is on the VCDS. I couldn't do it on anything else, so we're going to go into, sorry, I'll be trying to look at the camera, and advanced measuring blocks, okay? Then I have to go up here. Sorry, it's just actually just measuring blocks, isn't it? So the measuring block I have to get into is 019. Now I've got this from Rosstech, so if ever you're using VCDS and you want to figure out anything, just Rosstech are very handy, okay? We need the oil temperature between 30 and 100 degrees, so I have it between that, okay? So we're going to go to done and go back. Okay, done, go back. Okay, now we're going to go into basic settings, okay? And I have to have the car actually running, and I have to have, so she's actually running there now. I have to have the car running. I have no fault codes, as we see in transmission, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these basic settings on VCDS, very primitive, but here's the way I have them listed out. They have to be done in that list. The first one I have is 061. Okay, so apologies for my finger. So 061. Now I'm going to go to go. Now I have to stay. This is going to be changing gears. I can hear a clunking and stuff happening outside underneath the bonnet. This will change to on, and the numbers will stop moving. Numbers are kind of stopped moving at this point in time. They're moving away there now, but this has to switch to on, okay? There's a basic setting. One of the basic settings we're doing. I didn't make the list of what exactly they are, so I don't rightly know. Should have probably wrote it down for you, but this is the first one, okay? I'm doing this because after fitting the gearbox and the dual mass, so I didn't actually fit the gearbox, after refitting its original gearbox and the new dual mass flywheel in there, I want to just go through all the basic settings on this to make sure everything is going to be as it should be, okay? Okay, that's done. So we're going to change our group. The next one is, actually, let's go back and look at the software version. We're done and go back to next sequence 006. Coding up to below. Sorry, I'm just looking at. I don't actually know what software version is in this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the tube. So I have 062 or 067 are my next step. Sorry, 060 is the next step. But then after that I have, depending on the software version, 062 or 067. So I'm going to do the 060 first. And we're after doing the 06. We have to do them in synchronization form, or as they're given to us. So we're going to go. Sorry, finger in the way. That's it. She's have to change it to on again. Now I do not know, but it's probably a bit long-winded. But look, anyway, I don't know about doing this, or I wouldn't be very familiar. So you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing. I'm gonna go with the 062 and see what happens. If it says it can't do it, well, error not available, right? So we'll try 067. Back 067. And that's the next one, which is below or equal to 0800. So we're going to try this and see where we go. Okay. Done it. That's stating on straight away. So I'm presuming that this isn't really needed. Whatever it is. But again, it's only presumption. 6.8. Why am I going 6.8 now? I'm going 6.8 because it's the next on my little list there. We're heading down. I'm trying to get my finger in it. 0.68, 6.5, 6.3, 6.9. Okay, that's after going through that fairly fast. It's gone to on again, quite fast, quite easy. 0.68, 6.5. This is just now on Rosstech that's telling me to go through these adaptations. Actually, it's telling me somewhere that I should be seeing a couple of zeros, so I'm quite happy with that. Again, if you read through the Rosstech form, I think it's an 02E gearbox that's in this thing, and you can see if you go into DSG adaptations and stuff, it'll actually break it down fairly fast and fairly easy. Now I've been looking at this being on all along. I'm not hearing anything at this point in time. Normally I'm hearing bits of noise out of the gearbox. So I don't know, we'll have to float along for a little couple of seconds. I may pause out now and just see if this does anything. A little bit of trial and error, I'm assuming here. And I'm running out of my head from what I've seen already, but I'll turn off the phone in case this takes a while. I don't know if this is actually doing anything at this point or what the heck, but look, anyway, I'm going to drive on. Okay, I'm after waiting for 2 or 3 minutes and this thing isn't changing, so I'm just going to go and head back. What was that? 6.3, 6.9 then is the last one that I had. 6.9. Lads can tell me, oh, you're crackers, you don't need to do all that crack. There's not much happening here either, it's on the zeros. So again, I'm not going to be too bothered about that. They're telling me on Rosstech just to press go, watch numbers changing as soon as the basic settings turns to on. But I'd say the last 2 that we've seen here are things of nothing, so I'm not going to pay any attention to them. Okay, what we'll do is give her a drive and just see what way she reacts. Hopefully the hard clunking and on first and second gear will be gone, fingers crossed. And I'm actually telling lies. There's another step that we have to go through when we're driving. We have to go from first all the way up to 6th in Tiptronic. I don't go into drive or the automatic at all. It's all Tiptronic, I believe, on the first run. Maybe I'll try and put a link on the video if I can for Rosstech. Okay, so we'll do that and I'll let you know how we get on in a second. Okay guys, the long and short of it is that this did not work. There must be something wrong inside in the clutches. Again, as I said there, I'm not familiar with it, but we're going to change in the gearbox now. I'll let you know how we get on. I know, crossing fingers, I think this should be easy enough in hindsight. Okay, at least I know it's not all caused by the June last flywheel. There's something wrong, I think, inside the clutches or something in there. Anyway, box out, box in, and I'm going to continue on. The saga continues. Okay guys, that was just joining on from where we were. Saga number 2. Hindsight is a great thing, but I've changed the gearbox. Okay, our soft coating is the exact same in the gearbox that we've just fitted in here. And I'm going to tell you straight, it was just plug and play. I plugged it in, and lo and behold, the gearbox just done what it was meant to do. I went through a code scan, I had a little bit of a look, no faults in transmission. The reason I didn't change it originally was erring on the side of the caution, thinking something was wrong. Not thinking something was wrong inside it, thinking that I was going to create, someone said they thought I was going to be encrypted or tied into the chassis number or something like that, but it's not. So the big thing in this video is, if anyone can see this point, it's hard to fast forward to 6 important segments of videos, but this is basically telling you that you can pull a DSG gearbox. I don't know what way that thing is going to work, but you can pull a DSG gearbox out of a yoke like that. Once it's out of the same kind of a thing, there is no real hardship with this. Once you do a code scan with VCDS and have the soft coding from the mechatronics on the front of this, now I don't know what's wrong with that. I don't know enough about them. I don't know if there's a solenoid got inside it. I don't know if there's something wrong in here. It's a double clutch. Is one of them biting? I might take it apart at some other stage just to have a look. But for now, the hard shift is gone out of it with the gearbox swapped around in here, okay? I have to say, hindsight is a great thing. I should have nearly bolted in, but I thought the dual mass flywheel was the problem the last day. Today's Monday. It was Friday I was doing this car, and that's when we had the last time of the video. And I had to know, so I put in the original gearbox, just trying to see, and then I'd done a clutch adaptation. As I said, trying to fix this thing without putting the gearbox in. There was no real benefit because I had the second-hand transmission bought anyway, but didn't do the job. Switcheroo can happen. No real fancy stuff going on. Once you have the code scan with the VCDS done, you have the soft coding saved. Soft coding was the same. Worst case scenario, it's only coded to the car. A couple of different variations maybe, but soft coding, which we could change easy. Didn't have to do it. Plug and play. Super duper. Long-winded video, but hey, smile, bad smile, but a smile on my face because it's in and working. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Hope it's going to help someone. DSG box, switcheroo. There's no point in me showing you how to unbolt it and bolt it in because it's the same as any old Volkswagen Caddy or whatever it is. It's a simple box. I used the jack, the transmission, the scissors jack on the back of the engine this time again to push forward. I didn't drop the subframe. Gearbox came out easy, back in easy. So, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if there's any use to you. Volkswagen GTI DSG box. Thanks for watching, guys.